Hello everybody, it's Bubba Rob. How's it going? Double thumbs up. I'm in the dump truck. Hope everybody's having a good day. If not, try and make it a good day, please. Thank you very much. Not too much to ask, right? Anyways, what is my topic of today? Touch. Or touching. Okay. I know I look kind of scruffy, so not much wants to touch this face today, but anyways, all kidding aside, yeah, I was in deep discussion with my friend Jeff this morning again, but how this kind of started was, I started watching this video from Big Think. I should have taken some notes here, but there is a microbiologist, I believe she is, and author Giulia Enders. Sorry for butchering the name. And the talk was about our organs and how we react in relation to our environment, stress, touching, all those sorts of things, exercise. And it was about an hour and a half long, and boy, that really made me kind of think a little bit. You know, it made me think so much I actually ordered the book on iBooks right away. Give me something to read, something deep, right? About me improving my life. And I hope other people improve their lives. I should say, of course, I'm not a doctor, a therapist, or anything like that, and I don't mind talking about what I'm going through, because if somebody gets something from it and they make an improvement which helps them, fantastic. Okay. My last video was talking about how I actually stabilized my aortic root through meditation and meditative walking. I'm not saying medications didn't have anything. Sorry for that interruption. The phone cut out. Some 1-800 effing phone number phoned me. This may be spam. But anyways, getting back to it. Yeah, I'm sure the medications help, but where the significant change was really when I dialed in with the meditation. And when I was watching that video on Big Think today, and me and Jeff were talking, it made me really think about, you know, what relationships you do have that are important. Because in some ways I'm kind of happy I'm more by myself. But what I do find is the relationships that I have seem to be of much higher quality. So maybe I should have been a little bit more like that, talked like that on the last video. But you know, I get kind of going sometimes. I get a little bit pissed off and think about things, and I kind of let things out. But you know, so when I was watching that video today, and I'm thinking, you know, when I'm meditating, especially the meditative walking, and I'm actually feeling the ground, feeling the heels of my toes and my hands and my breath, how much that actually changes my nervous system and how the reactions are that I have from my vital organs, like your heart, your lungs, your kidneys, your liver, your stomach, your colon, esophagus, all those sorts of things. Because, you know, and I really think about it, you know, because, you know, when my gallbladder packed it in, if I would have been a lot more focused on stuff like that earlier in my life, that probably wouldn't have happened. right? So, you know, I really think it's important, if you're going to have a relationship with somebody, don't be afraid to have some passion, to give them a hug, tell them what you really feel about them. If you love somebody, let them know. I don't think you can ever say it too much. I think in some relationships you could probably say it a little bit too early. People are wondering, who the fuck are you? What's wrong with you? But pardon my language, but you know, I think it's really important, and it goes back to the video I did on boundaries, when people put too many boundaries up, and which is fine if you have your own boundaries, but if you're not being receptive to other people's feelings, or maybe what they need, their needs are, if you're too much into your own thing, how much are you actually really able to share? Because if it's important to you to have a good relationship, that other person who's going to be with you has to recognize that, and I believe they need to be willing to share or make accommodations for what you need, and plus also what you may need for them, right? I know this isn't really like biker talk or anything like that, but there's the thing. Like, if you take a look at, say you go on YouTube and you find a biker video on 1%ers and stuff, you notice how much they hug one another and how much they tell them, their brothers, that how much they love one another. That bond is extremely important in life. We can't forget that, right? It's really important, with your children, like even in the womb, and as they're growing up, to show them the right attention and affection, and not be selfish of it because of your own needs or your own insecurities. I don't know. It's just something kind of crossed my mind today. I think it's extremely important. I truly believe since the pandemic, there's been a huge decline with that. Again, community collapse, right? We need to get back to it. We need to be not afraid of moving forward and having good relationships because things that have been bad in the past, right? We got to let things go. We got to be present. We got to focus on the good things, right? Let the shit from the past go. Okay, that's all for my chat today. I hope that helps. I love you all. I want to remind you that to be a good person, good stoic, good whatever your is, the most important thing is to be kind. Be kind to yourself. Be respectful. And if you're not able to receive what you need out of relationships, maybe reevaluate a little bit, see what give and take you can have. If not, be prepared to move on. Okay? I hope you all have a great day. Okay, bye-bye.